So, has anybody seen this guy? Does anybody know who this guy is? If you guys have seen this fella here, or you know who this guy is, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down. This guy is a YouTuber, all right? And we're going to look at his YouTube account. But believe it or not, he's got about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's got about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. And one thing that's interesting about YouTube is it seems like a quick way to get your subscriber count up is if you make videos talking insanity like this.
All right, listen, y'all. I know some of y'all are looking at the title and saying what?
So first of all, he says some of y'all are looking at the title. So the title of the video is "I'm embarrassed by black people." Shout out to Carlton. Carlton says, "Uh-oh, he looks off code." Yeah, you already know. Off code media, bro. Off code media. Let me ask you guys, if you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. It's definitely off code to say, you know, I'm embarrassed by black people if you're black. Now, here's my question. If other groups of people aren't embarrassed by their behavior, what they've done to the planet, and literally having a negative, damn near genocidal interaction with every other group of people on the planet, if those people aren't embarrassed by that, then my question is, what do you have to be embarrassed of as a black person? Does that make any sense? But let's see what he says.
What the hell are you talking about, my guy? Yes, I am embarrassed by my people right now, and I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to lie, man. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Every grocery store looks like this. Everything is either on the floor.
So now here's the thing, right? Look at that Walmart. Look at how bad that looks. Looks pretty bad, right? Anybody dead? Because other people have went through and made black establishments look like that. And the only difference was that there's a bunch of dead bodies laying around. But according to this guy, because there's some civil unrest or because there's some degeneracy or, you know, whatever was going on here at this Walmart, that's a reason for him to be embarrassed of black people. Now, I got a question for you guys. Did every black person in the United States take part in this? I know I wasn't there. I didn't get the email or the invitation either. What about you guys? Did any of you guys get the invitation or an invite to come to this? But according to him, you need to be embarrassed of being black because of this. Something that you had nothing to do with. Which is interesting because that's the same thing that other people say about their history. Well, you know, that was our ancestors and that happened so long ago and we didn't do anything and we weren't even there. So why are we accountable for it? Yeah, I don't live in Chicago. I've also never encouraged anybody to do this. Why should I be embarrassed? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Look at this. Can't even get no fucking food for my kids, G. Look at this. Came in the store to try to buy something because I'm not a thief. Look at this. In my hood, can't even get no food for my kids. Babies need milk. Can't even get nothing for my kids, bro. I feel like an animal, and black people make me feel like an animal. Y'all did this to us.
So now the person that actually made this TikTok video, kinda off code too. You know what I'm saying? Kinda off code too. So now black people did this. People from all around the diaspora, everybody, all black people contributed to the issues going on at that Chicago Walmart. That's interesting because when we talk about school shooters, the accountability and the responsibility does not go like that. Why the difference? That's a great question. Who is y'all and who is us? Big facts. Big facts, Al.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at the store. Look at this.
Shout out to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker. Everybody make sure you guys throw some thumbs up, flames, radiation emoji in the chat, because Hey Mr. Knickerbocker hit your boy with a Cash App. Definitely appreciate it.
But this is what we're fighting for. This is honoring George Floyd. People who already couldn't feed their kids, now they really can't feed their kids.
So now my question is, when it comes to these kind of things, why is it that everything goes back to George Floyd? And real quick, also, guys, Hey Mr. Knickerbocker said that she was having issues with her notifications. If you had an issue with your notifications, can you guys make sure that you do the survey that's in the chat? There's a survey that's pinned to the chat about the YouTube notifications. And also, if you got a notification, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you didn't get a notification, give me an angry face in the chat.
Look at this. I am so devastated right now. I am so devastated right now, G. This is not okay. For us to have to live like this, we do stupid shit like this all the time, and we so black proud. We so black and proud that we ain't gonna never be honest and be real about what's really going on. Y'all are so wrong for this.
So now, there's tons of other cities, tons of other states. This is what's going on in one city, in one state, at one Walmart. But all black people need to get on our knees and tell the rest of the world that we're just not capable of anything. And, you know, we can't produce anything. We're pathetic. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you all feel accountable for this? If you feel accountable for this and you feel that you need to make amends with America because of what some people in Chicago were doing, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a laughing emoji in the chat, because this is definitely a joke. But let's continue.
You came in your neighborhood and fucked up your shit. I'm not a thief. I'm not coming in this store and stealing nothing. And ain't nobody gonna turn me into no animal or make me feel like a thief. Y'all let the white folks send y'all off once again. Look at all this shit on the floor. Look at all this on the floor. Everything. Everything's on the floor. Tissue. We couldn't even find tissue less than 2 months ago, and now it's on the floor. Look at it. Meanwhile, we got plenty of fruits and vegetables. I'm not gonna pick through this shit.
Oh, they took everything else but the fruits and vegetables. No wonder why so many black people are fat, bro. We are the race with the highest obesity rate. I wonder why, because we don't eat no damn fruit.
Which is interesting, because that's not true. But okay. We don't eat fruit. Let me ask you guys a question. Out of everybody here in the comment section, how many of you guys eat fruit? If you eat fruit, give me a thumbs up. If you don't eat fruit and the only thing that you eat is candy, give me a thumbs down. Now, also, what's interesting is that when it comes to the whole quote unquote dietary argument, I'm sure this guy hasn't read the book Medical Apartheid. I'm sure he hasn't taken any classes where it talks about the disparities in healthcare. Poverty has a lot to do with people's diets, and also the zoning regulations when it comes to high income versus low income areas where fast food and poison food restaurants are zoned to be in inner city and urban areas. Let me ask you guys a question. When's the last time you saw a Whole Foods restaurant in the hood? Probably don't. But none of that matters, right? Who cares about that? How does that matter? What does that matter for? Does it matter at all? No. We'll just continue with the narrative. See, what a lot of people are doing on YouTube They're doing the grift, and they're doing the grift for real. Because all you got to do is make a video like this, trashing black people, and the majority of YouTube, which everybody knows who the majority of YouTube is, they love it. YouTube pushes this kind of content in the algorithm. You'll be on your way to 1 million subscribers in no time. This is all you got to do. This is easy work, easy money. And as you know, these people, like this fella right here, they have no morals. They don't value themselves, and they would sell their mom for the right price. I mean, clearly, that's how we got here. A lot of us, right? So this isn't something that people should be surprised of. But the problem is that when you call this kind of nonsense out, what happens is these people get a battery in their back from WS, and then they want to babble about people being divisive. Now, let me ask you a question. If you've got some black people talking crazy about other black people, isn't that divisive? If you guys feel that that's divisive, give me a thumbs up. If you feel that it's not divisive, give me a thumbs down.
Man, listen, bro. It just really hurts me, man, to hear the pain in her voice while she's walking around in this Walmart thinking about where her next meal is going to come from for her children. A real citizen that wants to legit buy her groceries. Some black people will have the nerve to say, oh, we're
so now that's interesting, right? Because I'm sure he's done enough research on that TikTok video and looked at all the other TikTok videos and researched the person to see that this is a valid TikTok video. It's real. You know, this person is a legit person that all they want to do is just buy some food. If that person wanted to buy some food, they would probably actually be in the process of getting some food somewhere else instead of taking a tour at a place that's clearly not functional and actually going to find a place that is functional. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, I messed up and argued with some liberal on MSNBC about Obama back in 2010, and a gang of WS started following me. I had to private my Twitter. Now I look like a bot because I have no followers on the old account. Yeah, that's what they do on both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. Actually, there is no both sides. When it comes to politics, there's their side and then there's us. The Democrats and the Republicans play off each other. It's a team sport with them.
Still being oppressed. We're victims to the system. And then go on and do shit like this. First of all, if there's a system in place that's holding us back, how the hell are we gonna fight against that system if we're doing this shit to ourselves? Bro, I've never seen people this aggressive towards each other until I moved to America.
Until I moved to America. And I don't know if you're aware of international news, but if you want to talk about some things that are going on, why don't you talk about the people that are outside of America that actually got a lot of us here in America, if you want to talk about something like that? Why don't they ever talk about that? Isn't that convenient? They never make any mention of that. Also, if we're going to talk about what goes on in places other than America, I mean, have you ever heard of Al-Shabaab? Have you ever seen the crime rate in Jamaica? Have you seen what recently went on in Haiti, where gang members in Haiti got burned alive by the citizens because crime is just out of control there? This dude is just trying to make some easy money on YouTube. And with a YouTube account having over 500,000 subscribers, it's easy. It's easy money. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of stuff right here, this is incentivized. And of course, if it's incentivized, people are going to do it. Look at him. He doing it.
How the hell are we going to fight against that system if we're doing this shit to ourselves? Bro, I've never seen...
Now, here's another question. People that move from outside of the U.S. to inside of the U.S., people that are fighting the system who are not knocking down merchandise at Walmart, we still have to deal with this kind of babble attempting to block everything that we do as well. So the people that aren't knocking down stuff at Walmart, we have to deal with these people getting political offices, saying that Black American history is nonsense and victim mentality. We have to deal with you people doing that. Let me ask you a question. Does that help anything with the system? Probably not.
People this aggressive towards each other until I moved to America and see how Black people are towards each other, bro. For all you guys that don't know, I'm actually from Jamaica, born with just Black people.
Jamaica has the highest crime rate. It's a lot higher than it is at that Walmart in Chicago. What do you guys know about the crime in Jamaica? I don't know if you guys are aware, but in 2022, Jamaica declared a state of emergency over surging crime. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Has Chicago ever declared a state of emergency over surging crime? So this guy must have missed this. Jamaica declares a state of emergency over surging crime, including tourist hotspot Montego Bay. So not only is the crime out of control in the areas that are populated with people that live there, but the crime is even out of control in the tourist areas. This is an article from November 16th of 2022. So this wasn't that long ago. They declared a state of emergency because the crime was out of control so bad. A state of emergency. Rising crime in Jamaica has caused the country's prime minister to declare a state of emergency in several areas, including popular tourist destination Montego Bay. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Tuesday declared a public state of emergency in parts of the capital city, Kingston, and in some central and western parishes in an attempt to control rising crime linked to gang violence, just like what's going on in Haiti. States of emergency give authorities increased power, including the ability to search buildings and carry out arrests without warrants. Tuesday's measures apply to areas that include popular tourist destinations such as Montego Bay. Montego Bay is one of the more popular resort areas for American tourists in the Caribbean and is home to several prominent hotels, including Sandals all-inclusive flagship location, Sandals Montego Bay. Last month, the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning, suggesting that Americans reconsider traveling to Jamaica due to rising crime. But he's never seen anything like this before. He's never seen anything like this before. So now the question that you got to ask is, when somebody makes a false statement like what he made, why is it that YouTube doesn't put the little verification or the little fact verifier under the video like they do with C19? Because clearly him saying that he's never seen crime like groceries on the ground at Walmart. Well, I don't know if he's aware, but bodies are on the ground in Jamaica. Last month, the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning suggesting that Americans reconsider traveling to Jamaica due to rising crime, explaining that the homicide rate reported by the government of Jamaica has for several years been among the highest in the Western Hemisphere. The highest. I want to make sure that you guys hear me clearly. The homicide rate reported by the government of Jamaica for several years has been among the highest in the Western Hemisphere. But this guy's talking about what's going on over here in the United States in Chicago. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared a state of emergency in several areas over rising crime. Violent crimes, such as home invasions, armed robberies, sexual assaults, and homicides are common, the warning said. Sexual assaults occur frequently, including at all-inclusive resorts. Local police lack the resources to respond effectively to serious criminal incidents. But this guy who just moved to the United States from over here has never seen anything like groceries on the ground at Walmart. He's never seen anything like groceries on the ground at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Jamaican officials said that 1,360 murders have taken place on the island between January 1st and November 13th of this year. And remember, this was an article that was published in 2022, which represents an increase of 6.8% from the same period in 2021. Gang violence is said to be the reason for 71% of those murders. Okay. We have seen an increase in criminal activities in these areas and a threat to property, in some instances public disorder, Holness said during the televised address. What we are seeing with gang activities in these areas is a cause for grave concern, he added. Holness predicted an increase in murders over the next several weeks with the onset of the holiday season, when violent crime typically spikes. So the entire time this guy lived in Jamaica, he didn't watch the news. He didn't look out the window. Clearly, if where you're from has one of the highest violent crime rates in the Western Hemisphere, clearly you've seen things more graphic than groceries on the ground at Walmart. Clearly.
Actually from Jamaica, born with just black people, mainly black people in Jamaica. And when I moved up here, it's like the black people here are definitely different. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been to an all black party and there hasn't been a fight or something.
I mean, it seems like you can't go too many places in Jamaica where there's not a murder. I mean, here in the United States, there hasn't ever been a state of emergency declared by the government because of quote unquote black crime. Now, interestingly, there has been states of emergency called because of white crime, but there hasn't been any states of emergency called because of black crime. And that's a fact. But okay.
Some kind of police pulled up. There always has to be some kind of aggression. Niggas start drinking Hennessy and getting mad and fighting each other. Why can't we just party? I'm just trying to have some fun. I pull up to this party, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's good, what's good? It's like, I'm my niggas, you know what I'm saying? All black people in one spot, but we can't even have fun without someone getting violent. We are.
What kind of places are you hanging out at, bro? Let me ask you guys a question. Out of everybody that's in the chat, clearly you guys survived a party, but have most of you all, have all of you all been to a party and never been shot, assaulted, stabbed, killed? I'm assuming probably if you're here, you're not dead. So you got to ask yourself the question, what kind of party was this guy hanging out at? What were you doing? What is he doing?
Way too busy fighting each other, bro, to do anything good for ourselves. And if there is a system, it's winning because it's psychological now. It's divide and conquer. We're fighting amongst ourselves, which means they won. And we're doing exactly what they want. We're destroying our own neighborhoods. You guys are so fucking dumb, bro.
Let me ask you a question. What neighborhoods do we have? We don't have any neighborhoods. And then when we try to establish neighborhoods, there's a problem. But listen to him using bell curve talking points. You guys are dumb. Like I said, pay very close attention, because the white supremacists and the quote unquote pro-blacks got the same boss. They use the same talking points. How many times have you ever heard white people make videos about how dumb other white people are? The black conservatives, quote unquote pro-blacks, and white supremacists all use the same talking points. Let me ask you guys a question. How many times have you heard a self-designated quote unquote pro-black say that black people are dumb or black people aren't capable of XYZ? How many times have you guys heard that? If you guys have heard somebody that's allegedly quote unquote for the people say those kind of things, if those people who are allegedly for the people have repeatedly said black people aren't capable of certain things or black people aren't intelligent, if you've heard that more than once, give me a thumbs up. If you've heard that less than once, give me a thumbs down. Now, those very people that sit up there and make live streams and sit up there and make videos and say what we aren't capable of, those will be the very people telling you not to watch Fox News. Why shouldn't I watch Fox News if I'm going to listen to you and you're going to say the same thing? Carlton said, I've heard a certain doctor say stuff like that. I bet. Makes you wonder who writes these people's scripts and makes you wonder who pays these people's paychecks.
Y'all some dumbasses, man. Like, damn. Even when the whole George Floyd thing was happening, and the first thing y'all decide to do when that happened is to go loot and raid businesses.
Now, what I find interesting is that everybody that talks about the George Floyd incident that went down, no one ever talks about how the Boogaloo Boys burned up a police station. Literally, no one ever talks about that. The only people that talked about that was Minnesota local news. Also, something that none of these people ever talk about is all of the white people that attempt to infiltrate social justice movements and encourage violence, like what happened in Denver twice. Nobody says anything about that. So my question to everybody is, why are people silent on that? The guy who looks like the guy who looks like an owl says it. Who are you talking about, Drake?
Going to Gucci store, steal Gucci. What the fuck is Gucci going to do for you? And even destroy local businesses, local black-owned business.
Facts, James. If you guys agree with James, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with James, give me a thumbs down. James says our so-called black president said stupid shit like this too. Now, what's interesting is that white people will say, oh, you had a black president, and then in the same sentence say, this is a guy fist pumping and calling himself black, and he's only a shade or two lighter than me. Taking both sides of the argument, despite the fact that you are the people that made the one drop rule. According to the one drop rule, one drop is a drop of blood. So it doesn't matter how transparent you are. If you got one drop of blood, then you're black, according to that rule. So when white people attempt to skin color shame a light skinned person, talking about how pro-black they are, what kind of sense does that make when they made the rule and it's not based on skin color, it's made on a drop of blood? Does that make any sense? The thing is that nothing has to make sense. That's one of the societal privileges. And here's the question, as far as, and shout out to James, about the quote unquote so-called black president, right? What do the so-called black president and this fella here have in common? because they got something in common. What do they got in common? And it's something that the people that bought and paid for them, and also the people that use them for talking points, is something that they won't tell you. What do they got in common?
This is that y'all standing up for Black Lives Matter. How y'all gonna support Black Lives Matter and destroy a Black-owned business and talk about, oh, we victims? It's the system. The system is holding us down.
What Black-owned businesses got destroyed? If you guys agree with Carlton and with James, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down.
You fucking stupid ass. No wonder why the Black community is the way it is, because of you. You guys, you all, man. There's no hatred in my heart, man. I'm just passionate. Like, I'm legit like looking at this objectively and seeing what's going on. We're destroying ourselves. We're destroying our community. So when you guys destroy all these Walmarts, you guys just give these businesses a reason not to put their establishments in our communities.
If that's the case, why are there so many businesses in those communities? Now, let me ask you guys a question. How many CEOs and business owners actually own the businesses in those communities? We honestly don't need those businesses in those communities. We need our own businesses in those communities. So the fact that this guy's not examining, well, why is there such a small amount of Black businesses in those Black communities? That's one of the first questions that he should be asking, right? But he's not asking that question. So you got to ask yourself, well, why is he not asking that question? Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, isn't Chicago a sanctuary city? Yep. Now, here's the question. Who made it a sanctuary city? Was it Black people? The white media will say that it was Black people. But when you actually do your research, you'll see that Lori Lightfoot had a lot of pushback from the Black American residents of those cities that weren't in support of making it a sanctuary city or closing down schools to house migrants. But the white media won't tell you that. You got to do your research to find that kind of stuff out. And when you find that kind of stuff out, it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative.
And where the fuck are we gonna get food from now? Where are we gonna live? Because if this continues to happen, it will be the end of the Black community. We need to get our shit together, man. We need to stop being victims.
We're seeing kicking.
Slavery and Jim Crow didn't end the Black community. I'm pretty sure some groceries on the ground at Walmart's not going to end the Black community either. That would just be my assumption. As much stuff as has gone on in Africa, and as much stuff as Africans have done in Africa, and as much stuff as the rest of the world has done to Africa, and Africa isn't over yet, I think it's going to take a little bit more than that. But that's just my assumption based off of evidence, not based off of me being quote unquote passionate like this young man is.
Passing cars, crowding the streets, dancing on top of parks.
I'm about to make some people mad. And as I see it, the Black community is the weakest link in the United States, and we need to step it up.
So what do you guys think about this intelligent Negro right here? He's so clean cut. I bet you he's going to be making all kinds of pro-white videos during election 2024. So now the question that people should ask is, if it's not about race, then why do white people attach themselves to Black people like these two guys right here? Why do they attempt to push coons to the forefront if everything's not about race? See, that's the question that you got to ask. And that's the question that, of course, you won't get an answer to, but it's good to have it on the record of throwing the question out there. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, it says there are 50,000 Jamaicans in Chicago. Let me ask you a question. Do you think all of them got a clean record? Do they all have a clean criminal record? If you guys think that they all have a clean criminal record, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that they have a clean criminal record, give me a thumbs down.
Where are these children's parents? So yeah, the world sees black children out here acting like this, and then we as black people want to get mad when black children or black people are stereotyped as dangerous or people feel unsafe around us. If we don't want to be stereotyped in a negative light, let's not give people something to stereotype us about.
You mean like those 70% familicide statistics when it comes to the white community that nobody stereotypes white people about? Like that? You mean those school shooter statistics that nobody stereotypes white people about? You mean like that? You mean those teachers that sexually abuse students that nobody stereotypes white people about? Okay.
Here's why I say the black community is the weakest link in the US. So we have the lowest household median income, okay? We're also pretty much the most obese race in the US as well. 75% of black adults are either overweight or obese in the US. 75%, 3 out of 4 people. Black men are about, let's say 6.5% of the population, and yet we commit about 50% of the murders in this country. Adjusted to our race percentage of the population, black people commit more crime than any other race. We're running out of time, so part 2 comes soon.
So I don't know if you guys have seen TD Hip Hop Media's video, but TD Hip Hop Media just did a video that debunks all of those and links all of those disparities that he just listed to the poverty rate. And we all know that the poverty rate is linked to the racial wealth gap, which is something that the United States refuses to adjust. You would think that if the United States wanted to change these problems, then they would fix it. Now, let me ask you guys a question. How do you fix it? You account for what you did to cause it. But what we're dealing with is a narcissistic culture that will never take accountability for anything until forced. So while people are sitting around and waiting and thinking that the United States is ever going to do something because of YouTube videos, it's not going to happen. Let me ask you guys a question. Has the United States ever done anything because of tweets or because of a YouTube video? Last time I checked, they haven't. But there's a gang of people out here that think that they're gonna. So let's just sit back and wait and watch and see how powerful these YouTube videos are and see if they actually reach the White House and see what the White House does because YouTubers said something. Here's my advice to everybody. Don't hold your breath. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker said only if it was a Donald Trump tweet. Yeah, that's facts.
To stop blaming the police, stop saying the police are shooting us and killing us off when black people are killing black people at an alarming rate, bro. We have no respect for one another. The black women don't respect the black men, and the black men don't respect the black women.
This guy clearly has never read the Moynihan Report. He's also never read the Benign Neglect Memorandum. And I gotta agree, unless you're doing it like 9/11, landing planes ain't getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? Landing planes ain't getting the job done. And speaking of landing planes, people deciding not to become, aviation specialists, that's also not getting the job done. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But somebody do a good YouTube video, you know what I'm saying? Some shit might happen. You know what I'm saying? Just hold your breath. You know what I'm saying? Just smash that like button, just share the video out, and maybe some shit might happen.
The families are torn up to shit. We have no foundation, and then the kids are raised into this bullshit, and all they want to do is be aggressive, steal, and have no respect for adults. Because I've seen way too many videos of black students lashing out against their teachers and fighting their teachers.
And you missed all of the ones with the white kids killing everybody, huh? We know what news channel this guy watches. Anybody want to put any suspected news channels this guy watches? I'm sure Breitbart, Fox, Newsmax, Because remember, we're the only ones that commit crime. Speaking of we're the only ones that commit crime, do you guys miss Crimecast? If you guys miss Crimecast, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys don't miss Crimecast, give me a thumbs down.
And all this bullshit. We need to be the type of people that we can actually be proud of. Black and proud. Because this shit that's going on right now, I can't be proud of that.
I mean, you should be proud. If it wasn't for us, you'd still be in Jamaica somewhere. So you should be proud. Right? Now, what you shouldn't be proud of is you shouldn't be proud of the crime rate in Jamaica. That's not a badge of honor. I wouldn't be proud of that if I was you. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure you guys hit the bell icon twice. And also, please make sure you guys share the video to your social media. Oh yeah, we got more Crimecast coming. I think the next episode of Crimecast might be episode 2 of Carlton's Way.
I'm just ashamed. I'm embarrassed. Y'all could have at least stole some fruit. Like, damn, man, y'all as fat as hell out here not eating fruit.
So part 2 on why.
So when he saw this should have this right here especially. Hold on real quick. This right here should have reminded him of home. That should have reminded him of home. Shout out to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker for watching the replays. Hey Mr. Knickerbocker says you ain't been on at all like you used to. Don't you know I listen to you while I work? I be depending on you. Have me watching the replays all week. Well, I hope the replays were good. You know what I'm saying? But don't worry, though, I'm gonna be back like next week. The last week I wasn't feeling real good at all. But we about to definitely get it back popping again. You know what I'm saying? We about to get it popping again. And I also, in addition to streaming, I like to make the short form videos for you guys too. But with the new software updates and the new effects that they have on the software that I use to edit my videos, it takes a lot longer for the videos to process. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get 2 new computers. So hopefully I'll be able to get 2 new computers soon, and hopefully that'll speed up the processing time, and I'll be able to process them videos and go live. But when it comes to this right here, this looks like how the New York Post described what's going on in Jamaica. So you got to ask the question, what do you mean? This right here looks exactly like what you come from. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, nah, because I can't argue with the replay. Yeah, you can. You can leave the comments in the comments. If you leave comments after the replay, I'll argue back with you. You know what I'm saying? I'll argue back with you if you leave the comments in the replay. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually answer I don't usually address the comments. Once in a blue moon I will if I get a notification on my cell phone, but I promise you, because Hey Mr. Knickerbocker supports the channel big time. You know what I'm saying? If you talk shit on the comment section after the videos, I promise you I'll talk shit back.
So part 2 on why African Americans are the weakest link in the US. Part of it is our culture. So I'm not going to be the only one to feel this way, but I'm going to be one of the few people who are going to say it. When I go to a restaurant, when I get served the worst, it is usually by a black server, waitress, or a person that works there. When I'm on the phone, the customer service, you know when you can tell it's a black lady you're talking to on the phone, right? And a lot of times when I'm on the phone, the worst customer service is coming from black women on the phone.
Now, what do you guys think about what he's saying? Do you guys agree or do you disagree? I'm going to be 110% honest. I haven't gotten a black or a white person on customer service on a phone call in a very long time. It's been a long time since I talked to anybody that spoke English as their first language, for that matter. You know what I'm saying? When's the last time you guys talked to somebody that spoke English as the first language when you call customer service? It's been a while for me. I haven't heard that in a long time. But according to this guy, he always gets some angry black people as his customer service people, which is interesting. Now, if only there was statistics and employment information to back up these claims, but they're not. There's nothing supplied here. Now, this right here is just evidence that everybody doesn't need a social media account. Everybody doesn't need a social media account. And to this guy here and to the guy in the beginning of the video, if you're doing this to be seen as better in the eyes of other people, I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to work. People who are racist are going to look at you how they look at you, regardless of what kind of nonsense you talk. If people mess with you or people rock with you or people like you, they'll look past the differences and like you for who they are. I got a lot of subscribers that don't agree with every single thing that I say, but they appreciate the realness. And they like other elements of my content creation. And I don't change my message up for anybody. So if I can have people rock with me, appreciate my content, accept my content for what it is, I'm sure you can do the same. But for some reason, these people think that they can't. There's no payoff in this. And I gotta agree. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, he probably acts standoffish to the black folks, and probably no black folks even do anything to him. And he's one of those people that just acts scared. Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker says, I love your content and stay arguing with you. You know, listen, look, I ain't even about to go there. Look, we'll go there. We'll go there in another video for another topic. We gonna talk about that.
A lot of waitresses do not want or do not prefer to serve Black Americans. Why? They come in with the most demands. We want to spend the least amount of money and we tip the least. We will send stuff back. We'll try to get
Now, as far as spending the least money, there are a group of people that has a stereotype about them as far as spending no money, but it ain't black people. I don't know what kind of social experience that this guy has had, where he's been at, or who he's talked to. There are a group of people that have a stigma about them as far as not spending a lot of money. Newsflash. That stereotype ain't about us, bruh.
For free. Our culture and the way we process and go about things has got to absolutely change. Okay, so I'm running out of time again. Let me know if you want a part 3, but the reason I'm making these videos is because in order to fix a problem, you actually have to diagnose what the problem is before you can actually begin to fix it. So I'm diagnosing the problem.
So now here's my question. Do you guys feel that he diagnosed the problem? And do you guys want a part 3 of that video? If you guys feel that he diagnosed the problem and you all want a part 3 of that video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down.
That is facts. I always try to prove the stereotypes wrong, guys. Like, my mom works in the restaurant industry and she makes...
I don't care about stereotypes. I don't care about how other groups of people look at me on first contact. And I'm going to tell you guys something. It doesn't make sense if we look at stereotypes to not stereotypically look at what other groups of people do. So if the stereotypes in America about what black people do and have done are stereotypes that are supposed to be looked at as factual and people should be aware because of those stereotypes, well then what should we do about the history that other people have? How should we go about that? Should we take those into consideration when interacting with other people? I think we should.
makes it clear to us that we should tip. She's black herself, and she knows that when the black people come in, they're not going to tip like that. So whenever I go to eat, I give them a great tip. If the service is great, I give a great tip, guys, because we have to prove the stereotype wrong, man. We have to show these.
No, we don't. Because as soon as you try to prove a stereotype wrong, they're going to come up with another false stereotype. So why are you living your life to try to appease what other people want? If you're living your life and doing your life the right way, you don't need to accommodate other people's racism. You know how people say they change their voice and they talk a certain way and they do all of this stuff. What do they call that? When people appease the system? What do they call that? Oh, code switching. That's what they call it. See, that's why I don't even know what that is. The way that I talk on YouTube is the exact same way that I am with any other interaction in the world. But again, like I said, the pro-blacks be the same people that sound the same as the white supremacists. Pro-blacks will sit there and tell you to code switch. Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever heard a pro-black say, well, you know, you got a code switch? If you guys have heard a quote-unquote pro-black say that you got a code switch, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have never heard that, give me a thumbs down. I don't code switch a damn thing unless it's a door and the door's code has been the same for a couple weeks and it's time for me to switch it. That's the only damn time I code switch. I'm not taking bass out of my voice to make everybody feel safe. I'm not going to wear my clothes extra medium to make you feel like you're not going to get robbed. I don't do any of that shit. You don't have any reason to be afraid of me when all you got to do is just lie to the police and they'll come and kill me on demand. I'm sorry, man. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I still got cornrows down my back. There's literally nothing that I do that comprises of me being me that's a detriment to society or that impairs my ability to work. And as a result of that, I'm not changing shit. And my thing is, I'd advise other people not to either. Because I'm telling you, while you're sitting there trying to behave, you will still get hemmed up while somebody else who's not being profiled is stealing every damn thing. I'm not going to tell you to code switch. I'm going to tell you to embrace villainy. Every stereotype that you want to have of me, I'm gonna magnify it. I'm gonna make it really bad. You say that I'm gonna take down the property value, I'm gonna make the property value negative. I mean, that's what you're saying anyway. That's what you're saying anyway. So since that's what you're saying, that must be what you want. So trust me, when it comes to me, that's what I'm going to give you. You know what I'm saying?
People that we aren't who they make us out to be. And with that said, I'll see you on the next one, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be looking through all of them.
All right. So he'll be looking through all of his comments. So let's see here. He's got 23,000 likes on this video. 317,000 views, and it was just put up 5 days ago. This guy's name is Jay Hall on YouTube, and he's got 513,000 subscribers. Let me ask you guys a question. How is it that he's got 513,000 subscribers? I'll tell you how. The YouTube algorithm promotes this kind of stuff. And you guys should see the comments in the comment section, man. There's people, you know what? You right. You right, though. You know what I'm saying? You right, though. You got a point, though. You know what I'm saying? You right, though. You right, though. You got a point, though. You right, though. You got a point, though. The channel is called J Hall.